Hi guys, so I'm gonna read Captain America Comics number 2, the third and fourth stories. So the fourth story is the text-based one. So Captain America and the Wax Statue That Struck Death by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. Yeah, that's a weird name. I found this in this Captain America issue. There's a lot of like weird titles for the stories, but so it shows like a wax museum. Once again, America's greatest fighting machine, composed of Captain America and young Bucky, pit themselves against the nation's most dreaded menace, the Waxman. Unknown to the rest of the world, a spy ring gathers around its leader in a secluded section of a large city. You will all observe that I am forming a perfect head from a wax of my own invention. So this guy's like the puppet master. You see, Fritz, it's an exact replica of your own head. No, no, you wouldn't do that, boss. That's it. Hold him tight. We'll see how well it fits. No, no, have mercy. I'm choking. Thus I repay those who fail me. I want my plans to work out more successfully. You can all see what happens to bunglers. And just what is your next move? And what is your next move, Herr Waxman? My next move will be made when the super tanks are finished. After that, I want the boy called Bucky brought here. I have a mask for him to wear. Well, at Camp Leahy, or Leahy, I don't. It doesn't look like Leahy. It looks like Leahy. Senator Keats personally addresses a group of privates. I have a dangerous job for each and every one of you men. Be on the lookout for a murderous spy called the Waxman. None of us knows who he is, but we do know that he's in the pay of a hostile foreign power. Be on guard. That is all. Come on, Bucky, we've got work to do. Later, Private Steve Rogers and his young friend Bucky drift to one side. Let's go, Cap. I'd like to meet up with this wax guy. Wait, I just thought of something. Snap. What is it? It's Senator Keats. Agrees with my plans. I think I can. They rush inside only to find Senator Keats. Well, I'll be another strangled victim of the Waxman. A wax mask. Senator Keats is dead. So in a split second, the two friends slip into colorful costumes. We'll see what the Waxman says about Captain America. Meanwhile, a secretly trained mechanized unit, organized by the mysterious Waxman, works feverishly to complete and equip their streamlined metal monsters in the underground factories beneath densely wooded forest. Production! Speed up production, Captain Klotz. Ja, uh, Herr Waxman. The tank's near completion. The hour is almost at hand. That night, the sinister, sleek shapes of the Waxman's tank unit rumble into action as giant lifts whisk them rapidly from the underground shops to the surface. Gigantic trees and boulders, seemingly solidly embedded in the earth, suddenly rise from the ground as great trapdoors open in the side of a hill, allowing the super tanks to emerge. The crews manning the great tanks are as grim as cold as their weapons. Soldiers of the New Order, today we must strike the first blow against the Yankee fools who blocked our plan. Okay, so I should be talking in German, or German accent. Soldiers of the New Order, today we must strike the first blow against the Yankee fools who blocked our plans to mastery of the world. You have your orders. Follow them to the letter. When I fire the gun, I want the entire unit to start rolling. Smash Camp Lehi and all within. Achtung. Forward, and crush them without mercy. Bang. Yeah, I got it. Full speed ahead. The signal is given, and like weird machines from another world, the metal monsters tear forward, smashing everything that bars their way. Like juggernauts of doom, the giant tanks thunder into Camp Lehi. Suddenly, two dynamic figures come speeding into the fray. Captain America and his sidekick, Bucky. Up and at 'em, Bucky. Get those guys in the pretty suits. Yeah, just try it. Captain America and Bucky avoid the tank's withering fire and leap aboard the tank. Upsy daisy, Bucky. You have departed us. We forgot our can opener. Acto liber! Take that, you bum. Now let's watch you rats show your color. Suck. There's a message you can take back to the Waxman. Suck. Can I play engineer? Crack. Turn the tank around, Bucky. We're going to give these boys a taste of their own medicine. With pleasure, Cap, with pleasure. With the high-powered anti-tank gun, Cap and Bucky smashed squarely into the oncoming steel horde, blasting them to bits. Look, Joe, someone on our side. And they're doing a pretty good job of mopping up that whole division. Yeah, we'll give the soldiers a chance to mop it up. They're all finished, Bucky. Let's get out of here, quick. Completely battered, the tank crews are easily subdued. Come on out, or we'll run you through. Look, 2 guys getting away. I'll blast them. Stop, you fool. That's our friend, Captain America. Woo, good thing I didn't fire. Nearly shot the best crime fighter the country's ever seen. Meanwhile, Captain America once again becomes plain Private Steve Rogers. Think we've beaten the Waxman yet, Cap? Not by a long shot. He's not through until I personally polish him off. Hey, Rogers, how would you like a nice easy job? I'm not particular, Sergeant. What? Well, put on some dungarees and clean that stable. The kid can stay here. At the stables. It ain't the best of jobs, but you'll be nuts about it. Is that so? Oop, excuse me, Sergeant, I didn't mean... Oop, why, you fumbling nincompoop. I'll have you KPD'd for that. Oh, Sergeant! There's been a kidnapping right in our camp. Some boy by the name of Bucky has disappeared. What? Bucky gone? Good riddance, if you ask me. He runs off. Are you sure he was kidnapped, Lieutenant? Quite sure, Rogers. We're working on the case now. But, sir, wasn't there a clue left? Nothing at all? Why, yes, a matter of fact. Something was left behind. From the Waxman. This weird mask was found with a tag. Uncanny, isn't it? Gulp, just like him, isn't it? Thanks, Lieutenant. After the officers depart, don't worry, Bucky. I'm coming right after you. This is just the beginning. Okay, Mr. Waxman, you asked for it. Quickly, the army clothes are cast aside, revealing the Herculean figure of Captain America. Meanwhile, Mayor Dobbs makes a personal call at the army camp. But Mr. Dobbs, as mayor, or they spelled mayor wrong, you can see our hands are tied. General Stevens, my city can't stand much more of this. You've got to stop these outrages, especially in your own camp. Just look at this newspaper. You think the Waxman is invincible. Times News, Waxman strikes again. Even the army is puzzled as to the identity of the mysterious figure, or killer. What am I going to do for votes if this continues? After all, voters can only stand so much. Remember, General, just 24 hours to catch the Waxman, or my influence in Washington will break you. That same night, Bucky is taken to the basement of a large building where the Waxman awaits him. So, our little prisoner is finally helpless. Do your worst, Deadpan. What a nice trophy your head will make. Just one clean cut and I've settled my first score with Captain America. Meanwhile, Captain America continues his untiring search for his friend. Well, I'll be. Why didn't I think of this place sooner? If they harm the lad, Well, what do we have here? This image looks like Senator Thomas, who disappeared weeks ago. That's funny. All these men have disappeared. Now they're in wax. The last 2 spaces are for me, Bucky and me. Maybe it's... Wait a minute. These heads aren't wax. They're real flesh and blood. That's right, Mister. No, nothing wax about them at all. Down the stairs, Herr Captain, and no tricks. Better let him take me. Maybe I'll find Bucky. Ah, Captain America, this is a surprise. Cap. So you're this pesky Waxman. Correct. And before I finish my collection of wax heads, I'm going to reveal my neat little plot. With this new rocket bomber, I can destroy America. I can blast this country to dust. And I'm going to do just that. But you'll need men, plenty of them. What about that? Wrong again, Captain. Everything is operated by remote control. That way I don't risk a single man. Meanwhile, Captain America backs stealthily into the wax-melting fire. The flames lick at the rope that binds his wrists. I've heard enough. Crack, bang, bang. Come on, Cap. Turn me loose so I can get in on the fun. There, smash. Crack. Let me at him. There's only two of them. You can easily whip them. I got your shield, Cap. Bullets won't help you, rats. Bang, bang. Captain America batters his way through the Waxman's mobsters until he gains the top of the stairs. Why don't you fall? Why do you keep coming on? Suddenly, the Waxman's courage leaves him and he flees in terror. They'll never get me. Never! Captain America and Bucky pursue the Waxman, who dashes into the surrounding shadows and disappears from view. What the? He's gone. He's somewhere in this room. We'll find him. I'll look in this end of the room while you take the other. Now where do you suppose he could be hiding? A hand slowly emerges from the darkness. Ha! Here's a trick Cap taught me. Why, you young oof, Biff. For that I'm going to choke you with my bare hands. Sock. He's out, clean as a whistle. Wait a minute, what's this? Strike me pink. He's been wearing a mask. We'll all be. Look who he is. Don't you recognize him? Wait, why does Bucky's mask gone? It's like gone. It's not there anyway. That's like anyway, it's continuity error. Yes, it's his honor, Mayor Dobbs. Rather clever, eh? I'll say. But he wasn't clever enough. It's not easy to kill two birds with one stone, especially when we're the birds. Sometime later, the police break into the Wax Museum. If you're fooling us, Casey, I'll have your badge for this. I'm telling you, Mike. Heard a commotion in here while I was on me beat. Gee, take a look. Wax statue of American traitor, Benedict Arnold. So the guy, he actually didn't speak in German. Apparently. Well, it's kind of inconsistent about it. Mayor Dobbs, I had a bust you one for lowering our salary last year. Yeah, you dirty crook. So you're the big bad wax man. Ha-ha. Meanwhile, back at camp. Hello, Sarge. Good morning, Sarge. What? You're still cleaning the stable? A million fights going on and you two taking it easy. This'll mean KP for the two of you. And that's the end of that story, but we're going to read this one, too. So Captain America and his boy pal Bucky in Short Circuit. A big entertainment was on at the camp that night. Private Rogers turned a deaf ear to the entreaties of his company buddy Hank Weldon and did not accompany him to the show. Instead, he and Bucky, his admiring boy pal, went for a walk on the outskirts of the camp. It was just the kind of night that Rogers was crazy about. The full moon threw deep shadows over the beautiful landscape that opened out before them. They had gone but a short way when a shadow as of a gallows fell across their path. What's that? Whispered Bucky in awe-stricken tones. Looks like one of those things they hang men on, doesn't it? I was just thinking the very same thing, answered Rogers. When they came closer, the sinister-looking shadow was cast by nothing more dreadful than the superstructure of a long-abandoned shaft in a deserted mine. Spooky-looking place, breathed Bucky. Sure is, agreed the soldier. He stopped dead. What's the matter? Questioned the boy, sensing the other's tenseness. Like a shot, the soldier dropped to the ground, his ears flattened against it. Listening, Rogers possessed an ear of unbelievable sensitivity, hearing things that passed unnoticed by many others. He now arose and streaked over to the mine shaft. and peered down its inky blackness. "What are—" began the boy, but Rogers silenced him by a sign, motioning him to also look down the shaft. "See that?" asked the private, as he gripped the lad's arm in excitement. But strain his eyes as he would, Bucky saw nothing. Those eyes of Rogers, they were as keen as a cat's. After several minutes, that seemed hours to the unseeing boy, the private whispered, "Hold this flash, Bucky. There's somebody down there. I'm going to investigate." While the boy played the flash on the walls of the shaft, Rogers let himself down along the heavy wooden beams. The cable and lift had long ago disappeared, and as he neared the bottom of the shaft, he signaled Bucky to pull out the flash. The reflected light that he had noticed from above now gave him all the illumination that he needed. He could hear voices, but could not make out what they were saying. In a large room-like vault in one of the cross tunnels or galleries, some distance from the shaft down where Rogers had just come, 4 men had but now arrived. They were carrying large wooden cases on their shoulders. These they put out on top of others in a little mine cart, but they did this with utmost care. The boxes were labeled dynamite. "Now we have all the explosives here," spoke a hard-faced man, evidently the leader of this gang. That is good." "Yeah, Herr Klotz," said one of the men. "All we got to do is connect the wires and push this little baby buggy down to the end of the shaft." Wait, so this is this guy like I don't know if this guy's German or not. I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, I can't tell sometimes if he like sounds like a goon or if it's German. "You is sure that is the right under the recreation hall?" asked the leader. "Sure thing," the replied the other. "The shaft goes up near the surface there, and is right smack in the middle of the soldiers' fun shack." The leader looked at his wristwatch. 20 minutes. That entertainment has been going on. Even the late ones will be there now. The hall will be filled with Miss soldiers. How the Fuhrer will enjoy this. Not as half as much as I enjoyed having the keel here," cried Captain America, standing at the end of the gallery in all his splendor. There was a streak of blurred red and white and blue as he sprang at the Nazi. A sickening thud as his great fist whammed at the leader's jaw. An agonizing "Ach!" and the big totalitarian crumbled into a heap. The other men stood irresolute, looking at the powerful man standing before them in his star-spangled uniform, as though he were an apparition, a ghost. But they recovered in a jiffy, when Captain America sailed into them. "Look out for the dynamite!" screamed one crook. Yeah, again, I don't know if they're like German accents or if they sound like goon, like Brooklyn, like they're from Brooklyn or something. Scream one crook. As one of the gangsters took a shot at the captain, the bullet whistling close to his head and carving a groove along one of the ammunition boxes. The sound of the shot reverberated through the low mine gallery like mighty thunder. Captain America sprang at him with the fury of a charging tiger. The gun went spinning to the end of the gallery as the gangster crumbled under the onslaught. 2 more hefty wallops, and the remaining 2 were rendered hoarse to combats. Captain America ran along the gallery from which the gangsters had come. He knew that Bucky was safe, for the boy would never be able to clamber down those far-apart beams. At the extreme end of the gallery he came upon a member of the gang with the set-off box between his knees. This bird took one look at the speedily approaching apparition of Old Glory, and with the yell of fear, pushed the plunger down into the box. A terrific explosion shook the earth. Captain America was blown clear out of the gallery, through the end opening, and landed in a clump of bushes, unhurt. Rogers, again in his private uniform, and Bucky were sitting in the canteen. The show in the recreation hall just let out. Soldiers were streaming into the refreshment place. "Gosh, you missed something," remarked Hank, seating himself at the table with Rogers and Bucky. Some Nazi sappers tried to blow up the recreation hall with all of us in it, but they got a short circuit and blew themselves up instead. What do you know about that? Replied Rogers, stepping on Bucky's foot under the table. A short circuit. The end. Next month, by popular demand, the return of the Red Skull. So, yeah, Red Skull comes back. I think this might be the real Red Skull instead of the imposter one. In the last time I read that one, but anyway, watch for the next issue of Captain America Comics. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.